Hello, it's Martin here again. Welcome to another episode of converting Landy the Landy into an Overland camper. Don't forget to subscribe so that you know when the next episode is coming out. Now, I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've been a bit carried away in doing stuff and forgot to keep you guys up to date. So since my last video, I've done about 80 hours of work in the van, and so I need to give you a catch up of what I've been up to. So let's start with what I've done on the Luton. So first of all, I've put in this cupboard on the right hand side. Now this is a big deep cupboard, and this is where all the bedding will be stored. So you can take it straight up off the bed and into the cupboard nice and easily. On the other side at the back here, I've put in some shelving, and you might be surprised because this looks like a pair of drawers, but actually it's a lift up cupboard, and the reason it had to be lift up rather than lift down was when you did it as a lift down, you couldn't make it come down without catching stuff because of the type of hinges that I'm using. So there's a lift up cupboard there, and then there's an open shelving there. Now also what I've done is finished off the wood burning stove. Now this is made out of an ammunition can, a 50 cal ammunition can. What you do is you replace the seal around the lid, the rubber seal, with asbestos rope, and cut a hole out on the top for the chimney, and then I've riveted in a baffle plate so that the flames just don't go straight up the chimney, but come around and up and then out. On the front, I've cut out a place for a door, and created this move-in airflow so that you can control the air. Also put in a simple choke. This is just a circular piece of metal. It's actually that piece that's cut out, threaded onto a bent bit of wire, and it's held in place and stays in place by the spring on the side there, so that it will stay in wherever you put it. Fortunately, it only moves that far, and that's just by luck actually that it jams and opens like that, so that's quite handy. Inside, I've put a 1/4 inch steel plate with welded. It's got some welded nuts on it just to stop the heat just going straight on the thin metal, so that the heat is held on that big thick plate so it won't burn through. So this join to the stainless steel flue, this is stainless steel, 3-inch stainless steel exhaust pipe, but what I've used is these quite thin metal joiners for like ducting. So what I've done is one on the bottom and one up the top there on the plate that goes outside, and so this just fits between the two, and so that you can allow that to happen, what I've done is put these sort of nuts and bolts as feet, so that you can undo these nuts, and the stove will drop down, and that gives you the clearance to get this piece of flue out if you need to. On the other side of the plate at the top, I've got another one of these, and then I've got a removable chimney that fits on top. I've surrounded it with a metal frame that's got insulation behind it. Now, I was going to use this sort of fibre concrete, which is what you're supposed to put around wood burning stoves, and I bought a sheet of it, and then I found it was just so heavy. It was going to make the van top heavy. So this is actually a metal that was surrounding of an old boiler. We've just had a new heat pump fitted, and our old oil-fired boiler was taken out. And as they were as the plumbers were taking it out of the back door, I was taking off this metal casing around it, cutting it up, making it the right shape and size to fit around the wood burning stove there. So again, complete recycling of materials, putting them to good use. So that didn't cost me anything. Looks quite smart. It's got the insulation that was already on the backs of those panels, so that should insulate to that area. Also, if we move down a bit, underneath the seat here, I've fitted in the diesel heater. The biggest problem I had with this is underneath is a auxiliary fuel tank that's designed for the heater, and it had a little outlet on the bottom, and it had a fuel pipe attached to it. When I moved the fuel pipe to attach to the pump for this particular heater, it snapped the outlet off. So I had to put in a big self-tapping bolt to up the outlet to jam that off. And what I've had to do is put in one of these pickups that goes from the top of the tank, which you normally get one of those with these diesel heaters. So it's now picking up from the top of the tank. But that did mean that I had to take out all the water tank to get to the tank underneath. I had to cut more holes in the floor to get to the tank, so that I could fit that in and then get the water tank back in. So that was a bit annoying and took a bit of time. Also, you'll see here, I've got this portable electric consumer unit, if you like. It's all wired up so that all you've got is a trailing lead coming out of it, but you've got the RCD protections and all that sort of thing. Now, unlike most vans where you've got to have something permanent for a sight lead, in a Land Rover, of course, you've got a removable hatch over the gearbox out in the cab, so you can just drop an electric wire through there and it comes out from the bottom of the van and will go to the post where you plug in. So that is what I'm going to do, is to use this, and it can just come out through the sliding door. You've got the sliding doors here, so if you want to get it out, then you can just bring it out. But that means that there's one less hole that I've got to put on the outside of the van for an inlet for the electric. As you can see, the heater duct comes up, and I've put in a place for the outlet on the outside underneath the sofa. These wires here are just the temporary wires going through to the battery at the moment for testing purposes. So that's all the heating sorted out. I've also put in the plumbing. So we've got it coming from the tank. It's self-priming, so it doesn't matter that the pump is higher than the tank. Goes to an accumulator and then splits off. One pipe goes off to the kitchen, one pipe goes into the bathroom. So in the bathroom, I put in the basin and the tap. Now, I think I told you in a previous video that when you're doing plumbing or putting in windows or hatches or anything like that, if they don't leak first time, brilliant, you've not got a problem. If they leak, you have all sorts of problems sorting it out. And this particular tap, it was leaking underneath, and it took about 2 or 3 hours to sort it out. Whereas if it had gone right first time, that would have been it. Part of the problem was I'd already fixed the sink in. It glues onto these wood bits here, and so it's really difficult to get underneath to sort it out. But anyway, it's sorted out now. Got the waste going down and out through the floor. Also put in this waste, which will be the wet room waste, and I have put the vinyl flooring down and what I've got to do now is just put sealants all the way around all the edges and the joins, so it's completely waterproof tray, as it were, throughout. Also, out through that plug hole will be the outlet for the wee diverter on the toilet, and that goes down to the waste pipe outside. I've run the waste pipes and joined them all together. The wee is the highest point that it joins the system, and then the basin, this basin one here, and the kitchen sink go in lower, and the idea is that they wash out the pipe so that you don't have a smelly pipe, the smelling of wee. So that's the idea of that. On this side, I've again plumbed in the sink tap and the waste pipe. Had a little bit of problem with leaks on the waste pipe, but I managed to sort that out with some sealant and tighten it up. The only thing I've got to do now is just fix this down, put it on a bed of sealant so that it's watertight all the way around. Up above, before I showed you this set of cupboards, but what I've done is also put in another overhead cupboard on that side and two on this side, and those are all old drawers out of some really old chest of drawers. There was actually some firewood that I was given, but again they've got drop down faces, but it all gives that sort of antique look. So there we are. I think that's everything that I've done so far. So now what I've got to do is, as I say, I've got to do the sealant around the inside there, build a new composting toilet to fit there, and then I've got to run all the electrics. So I've just ordered a lithium battery and a DC to DC charger and MPPT solar converter so that I can join up the panels to it, and then I've got to run the electrics all the way around to the lights and the USB sockets and things like that. Once I've done that, then it means that I have now got to do the outside and paint the outside, and then we can do some testing. Oh, and also Wendy is just finishing off doing the cushions for all the seating, and that is sort of patchwork leather, and that looks really good, but I'll show you that in another video.